Hey guys, this is Savannah from earthandwonder.co. Coming in here with the second insight to the Celestine Prophecy. If you haven't heard the first episode or if you haven't read the book, do know that there are probably going to be some spoilers around here because it's not a textbook, it's a written story. So that's definitely where I recommend starting if you're looking for a book to get into energy work and the energetic universe. Then Celestine Prophecy is a great place to start because it is a story form, not a textbook. But spoilers, spoilers. If you don't like those, you might want to mosey on. If you don't care, hang out. If you've already read it and you're interested, let's discuss. So the first insight covered the law of attraction and the synchronicities of the inner workings of this thing. It confirmed it. It's there. I went into detail over in that episode about how to use the law of attraction. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Meanwhile, we're here at the second, which is understanding history as a whole. How did we get to where we are now? This insight really asks us to take a second to imagine the lives of our ancestors, all thousands of years moving up forward in time until now. You exist. Why? Because people came before you and crazy synchronicities happened to create you. There's a whole thing. I think it's like a math equation that millions of things had to go exactly right for you to exist. There's a thing, and I don't remember what it's called, and I just tried to Google it for you so that I could tell you, but I don't know enough to even find it. So I wish I remembered where I heard this from. But anyway, moving forward. So the second insight brings our awareness to all of the lives that were lived before us, what our ancestors thought, how their day-to-day was, and it goes in to say about how initially everything was spiritual. Everything happened because the gods, quote unquote, willed it to do so. The grass grew, the rain rained, all because the gods willed it so. Everything was spiritual, and if it was a bad rainy season, then the gods must be mad, right? And then the church came along and utilized this and started working it to things. I'm not gonna get religious or controversial. I don't know. My whole existence is controversial. Sorry. But I do plan to try and stay I always try to stay very matter-of-factly with things. I'm just presenting information. You do with that as you will. Anyway, so church came along, was like, yeah, spiritual, yeah, God, all of these things, here's how you live life, and we understood it. We were like, okay, cool, now we have something to do with our life. It's a test, every moment, every day is a good or evil test, and if I pass all the tests properly, then I'm going to go to heaven, and if I don't, then I'm going to go to hell. Okay, pretty easy to understand, gotcha. But then we started noticing all of the clergy and the people who were running the churches who were saying one thing and doing another. Whoa, that is exactly how I got out of church. But anyway, we started noticing these inconsistencies between what we were being taught versus what the clergy themselves who were teaching us were doing, and it created this sense of distrust. And so then we started questioning reality. Bada boom, bada bang, here we are in the very, very scientific, practical, physical society that we have created for us now. Because since we didn't trust that which we were being given just blindly anymore, we were like, well, what is the truth? So we started doing research, and science was invented, and the scientific process, equation, whatever. But see, this took a really long time, okay? Took a really long time, and here we are now, thousands of years later, and we kind of feel like we have enough figured out at this point. So where do we go now? Holy crap, it's a pivotal turning point. Again, we were spiritual, and then we were like, well, I don't know about that, and then we became purely scientific, mostly, more or less, nothing ever really disappears. But where are we now? Well, now We are in the golden age of blending the two, spiritual and scientific, and I love every minute of it. We are getting mountains of data just rolling in, information just coming in every day that is proving that which shamans and ancient practices are to be true, to have backing. They have scientific backing now, which, oh my gosh, it opens up the possibilities of moving forward in such a beautiful way. Super helpful to have scientific backing when you're talking about this stuff and you're studying about this stuff, because or else you're going to feel absolutely crazy. Trust me, I feel that way all the time with the scientific proof. Anyway, so while we were researching the scientific world that we live in, we spent all of our free time and thus built society and culture around the preoccupation of gaining material things. And in doing all of this, we, by default, ended up raising the standard of living for most people in the world. Like, are there still homeless and poor? And absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But for the most part, the vast majority of us are okay. We have our bottom brick of Maslow's pyramid stable and built. We have the extra stuff. We have safety, security, food, shelter, all of the things that we need in order to start exploring the top areas of Maslow's pyramid so that we can together formulate a culture. Because now we're bored, right? Okay, so now we're bored. We have all of the standards of living that we need. So what's next? Well, it's that self-actualization stuff. It's the spiritual stuff. It's the why are we here stuff, the purposeful stuff. Our ancestors didn't have the time, space, capacity to worry about these things, to explore their creativity, to figure out who they are. They had to survive. They had to every single day wake up and work hard to gain their securities and their safeties. But we've done it, we've made it, and years and years and years upon thousands of years of our ancestors working really hard in hopes, you know the dream, it's you work really hard in hopes that your children don't have to struggle as much as you did. Well, that multiplied over generations and generations ends us with where we are now, which is where, some people, we hear it all the time, that the younger generations are entitled or lazy or privileged or whatever. But honestly, it's just the hard work paying off. It's that flip zone. It's from, we don't have to work for our food, shelter, clothes anymore. We pretty much easily can just get those things, have those things. So what do we do with ourselves now? Because we're bored. We don't have any goals. Those were our goals. And that's why you hear all of the spiritual community talking about how exciting, how pivotal that this point in time in history is. Because we're taking all of that spiritual stuff that we had originally and have kept throughout the years. And then we're taking all of the scientific stuff and we're putting it together so that we can reach the higher levels of existence. Oh my gosh, Earth shift. So excited. And that's the second insight. Let me know what you think. Come hang out with us in their Facebook group. And here is a few minutes of some meditation music so that you can sit here and ponder these thoughts. Oh, so much fun. Talk to you later. Namaste.